Hello and welcome. Hi guys, how you doing? It is part 11 of our 12-part business growth program. Can you believe it? How awesome is that? Alrighty. So welcome guys, welcome. Thank you for being here today. We've got a very cool session lined up for you as part 11 of our 12-part business growth program. Can you believe the time has flown by so quickly? And the cool part about today's program is we're going to chat all things marketing. And I believe it's going to be a pretty exciting session purely because I'm going to help you not only put together a marketing strategy, but I also want us to understand that marketing and sales are not silos, they work together. And you'll find in many businesses that the sales department doesn't know what the marketing department is doing, and the marketing department doesn't know what the sales department is doing. I want us to have the two work hand in hand. And if you looked at previous sessions, if you look at the sales pipeline that we keep on talking about, you'll know that the first part of the sales pipeline or the sales funnel is marketing. It's all marketing oriented. It could be inbound, outbound marketing. And then we transition that into the sales part of the funnel, which then becomes your leads and you warm them up and eventually close the deal. So marketing is a very essential part of sales. So please, I want you to embrace the fact that marketing and sales work together. Now, you should have a business coach. I hope that you do. I learned something very interesting today and I want to share it with you before we get stuck into our marketing session is every lesson that you give is a lesson learned. Let's take a moment and let's just wrap our minds around that. Every lesson that you give is a lesson learned. All right, and I believe everything that happens in life, whether in business or in your private life, there's something for us to learn from it, whether it's engagement with a client or a supplier, a team member, when we're asked to do a proposal or to pitch our business, there's a lesson in everything. And not only is there a lesson for us, but there might be a lesson for someone else. All right, so with every lesson given, there's a lesson learned. Write it down if you want to. It's a little bit of food for thought for the day. All right. All things marketing. Guys, I want you to get excited about this because marketing is going to help you get the sales through the door. Let me repeat that. Marketing is going to help you with getting sales through the door. All right. Therefore, marketing is a very important component of your sales strategy. Yes, your marketing strategy is something completely separate, but not. So it does form an integral part of your sales strategy. All right. So first of all, I want to share a couple of cool tips in this section. Now, the first thing that I want you to wrap your mind around is to do marketing every day. And it's not something that we're going to do willy-nilly, switch it on, switch it off. Some days we do it, some days we don't. In last week's session and in previous sessions, I've said to you, please diarize. You have to diarize your sales, and I want you to diarize your marketing. So I'm going to show you your marketing strategy shortly, but I want you to diarize this activity. I want you to be in the mindset that when you wake up in the morning, you know that these 5 things I'm going to achieve today, and one of them will be this marketing activity. Besides doing my sales calls and operations and everything else, we are going to do marketing every day, daily, consistently. Book it in your diary. I want us to have a marketing budget. Guys, when there's a recession, when there's economic crisis, when cash flow is tight, when things are just not going the way we want in the business, what's the first thing that gets cut? Marketing. Why? Surely that's the time that we should be marketing because everyone else has cut their marketing budget. Really, now it's the time for us to go ahead, forge ahead, and get our marketing out there because then we are seen. The competitors are not seen because they're not doing marketing. We are doing marketing, so we get seen. So now is absolutely the time for you to do marketing, and I want you to put money behind it. Whether it's 300 Rand on Facebook ads or 500 Rand on boosting a post on Instagram, whatever it is, I want you to commit to putting some form of budget behind your marketing. There's a term that goes, and you can write this down, skin in the game. I want you to have skin in the game. Because remember, if you have a service-based business, there's a two-way risk. You are asking your prospective client to take a risk in investing money with you and signing you up as a supplier to them, but you're also taking a risk. So when you're doing marketing, it is risk-based. Unlike sales, where sales lies in the numbers, marketing becomes this intangible thing. And so I want us to have skin in the game, to have some form of commitment to make it work. Therefore, I'm going to say again, you need to have some form of marketing budget. And wherever it is that you are financially in your business, if you set aside 300 Rand a week or 5,000 Rand a month, whatever it is that you can commit, I want you to commit that money to doing marketing. But you know why it's also important to put budget behind it? Because you're going to apply correctly, aren't you? You're going to make sure that you've gone and done your homework, you've done your market research, and that whatever you're boosting or putting out there, it's going to be worth the 300 Rand that you put behind it. Because that 300 Rand could translate into 1,500 Rand. It could translate into a recurring 2,000 Rand every month. So what will you lose if you do not put the budget behind your marketing? We need to have marketing goals, absolutely. So you could sit down with your team, or if your team is you can sit down with yourself once a week or once a quarter and say, right, this is what we want to achieve this week. This is what we want to achieve this quarter. This is what we want to achieve for the next year. You may be familiar with the term reverse engineer everything. And I love reverse engineering things because we look at the desired outcome. We look at where we want to be. We tell Garmin, we tell the map our destination, where we want to be, and we reverse engineer how are we going to get there. So what are the milestones that we need to achieve in order to get to that goal? The same thing with your marketing. If you want to sign up 3 clients every month for the next quarter, what kind of marketing strategy do you need to have in place in order to achieve that? So we need to have goals. We need to stay on top of trends. And by this, I mean we need to understand our industry, we need to understand the market. So we need to understand the demands from prospective clients. What is the industry saying to us? If the industry is saying to us, guys, we love reading blogs, but we want to see videos, well, guess where the market is going? So then we use more video-based marketing. If the market says we don't really want to invest in luxury goods, but we're happy to invest in services to help us, well, that's what the market is saying. If the market is saying we will rather pay retainer than an hourly rate, then that's what the market is saying, isn't it? So we need to follow the trends of the market. You need to set up Google Alert or whatever it is that you sign up on, Medium, whatever platforms that you get informed of information, Twitter, and you need to be alerted daily of what's happening in your industry. What is your market saying? What are your prospective clients saying to you without speaking to you face to face? And then you need to base your strategy on what the trends are saying. Where do you think this is going? Trust me, it's going to be very helpful to have some form of visionary in your business. So if it's a co-founder or an outsourced business partner that helps you with your strat, it is invaluable. I cannot emphasize enough how invaluable it is to have that kind of information, because the strategist, the visionary, will look at the information, they'll look at the data, they'll look at the trends and say, right, we need to position ourselves in this way in order to match what the market demands. And there's that word, positioning. Guys, next week we are going to recap our entire program, and I'm going to highlight all the key elements from every session. But what's very important and what you'll see keep on coming up in every session is positioning. How do we position ourselves? How is our business position in order to get the kind of clients that we want to sign up? All right, so that's very, very important. Okay. Then we need to get feedback from our current clients and from ex-clients. Now, what this means is that we're going to go and do a bit of market research, a market survey, and say, okay, client, you have signed up with us. What what brought you to our door? So what brought you to our door? If you're signing clients up on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, high five, first of all, well done. And then we need to ask them, okay, why did you sign up with us? What is it about us that made you want to do business with us? Okay, that is data. It's important data, because based on their feedback, we'll know what is working, what is not working. We also need to get feedback from ex-clients. And if we go to our ex-clients and say, I know that you left us, you didn't really state a reason for leaving us. Can you tell me the reason why you left us? That also gives you insight and data that will help form your marketing collateral going forward. It will help understand how you positioned in the market. So it's very important to get feedback and constant feedback from the team, from your clients, from past clients, and see how it is that you can shape and mold your marketing strategy to always be on trend and to make sure that you're in demand and that you position yourself in such a way that you sign up the right clients. Here's a quick nugget, and I want you to write it down, that I want you to align your business, your vision, your business with the right clients. You know, certain clients bring in a culture into our business, and we have team members that bring culture to the business, and then there's the vision of the business. All of these need to align so that we can make sure the business is successful. You're not obliged to sign up every person that is inquired with you on your services or on your product. You know, if it's not a right fit, it's not a right fit. How much will it cost you to sign up the wrong client than rather than maybe waiting an extra week or two and signing up 2 or 3 great clients? All right, so that's just a small nugget for you to take note of. The next thing that we need to look at is press releases and press kits. These are very important because I want you to have this kind of information at hand at a drop of a hat. It is a great way to market your business. It is a great way to get brand awareness and your name out there. If you look at certain South African celebs, they make sure that they are in the papers on a regular basis. So they make sure that they send out a press release for workshops that they developed, for products that they are launching. When they become brand ambassadors for big names, they make sure that the rest of us know about it. So guys, you need to get your press releases and your press kits ready so that at any given time, if a journalist approaches you, and especially for startups in the tech space, that you have this information at hand. It's really a great way to market your business and to get the kind of brand awareness that you wouldn't necessarily get otherwise. Get interviewed. Get yourself on radio stations. Get yourself interviewed on podcasts, on TV. It's another way to market your business, to market yourself, and to create that awareness in the industry. You know, there's online radios like Hashtag Radio in Cape Town, for instance, that is always looking for startups to interview. Ocean Vibe Radio, I think it's called also. There's a lot of these out there that are continuously looking for new up-and-coming business owners, startups, founders, CEOs that they can chat to, give them insights into their business, into the industry, and ultimately for you, it's a great way to market your business. This is a very, very important point, and I want you to write it down. I want you to return calls and answer emails promptly, as in ASAP. And I know for some of you, you might live in your inbox. Okay, that's a whole different dynamic. But I want you, when an inquiry comes through, to respond to it as quickly as you can. The reason for that is that I don't want you to lose out on the sale. You know, you've gone to all the effort to put out marketing collateral, to do your social media, to strat the kind of clients that you want to bring on board. And the moment you get an inquiry, you don't want that to sit cold in your inbox or on your voicemail for a day or so. Guys, out of interest, in the car sales industry, if you don't return a call or a message within 12 minutes, take note, within 12 minutes, you have reduced your close rate by 50%. Okay, so let me say that again. In the car sales industry, if let's say I go into a car app and I want to buy whatever car, and I've now messaged the sales rep to contact me and give me more details about the car and if I can test drive it, whatever. And if I've sent that message and you don't phone me back within 12 minutes, I've moved on. So you as a sales rep, you as a salesperson, you as a business owner, you have basically reduced your possibility of closing me as a deal by 50%. Guys, it's so important that when you get an inquiry that you respond to it promptly. Okay, do not let that lead go cold. And by cold, I mean really within 24 hours, you should respond. Okay, so put your systems and processes in place to make sure that you are able to do that. And then we need to have a content strategy. So the content strategy is, yes, we have a marketing strategy. We're going to run through that now, social media platforms, that kind of thing. But what kind of content are we going to share? How will the content look? Will it be writing, so blogs, articles, press releases? Will it be video? Will it be competitions, surveys? But what is our content strategy going forward? Okay, are you still with me? Because this is so exciting, guys. There's so much cool information that we're going to share. And when you walk away from the session, I want you to go and implement immediately. I want you to go outside, go sit under a tree or wherever, and I want you to take a notebook and just sit down and start. Whatever thoughts and ideas come up in your mind, write them down for your marketing strategy. We need to have a sound, effective marketing strategy in place to ensure that the sales strategy works, to ensure that we have sales coming through the door so that we have a successful business. Okay, so lots of important nuggets that we're going to share today. All right, so here's your marketing plan. Drum roll, please. Now, let's write all of these points down. Okay, you need to know your business. And I'm going to refer back to all past 10 sessions that we've done already. You need to understand the pain point of your business. This keeps on coming up. You need to understand who are you offering your service or your product for? What pain are you solving? Where is your market? Where is the geographic location? Are you online, offline? Is it in one country, many countries? However that looks, do you know who and what your business is for? You know, your business is built because you have a passion and an interest, but you haven't necessarily built the business for you. You have built the business for like-minded people like you, people who may have had a situation like you, people who may have experienced some form of problem or pain. 9 times out of 10, that's why we start our business, because we couldn't find a particular service or a product in the way that we wanted it, and so we started our business. But you need to know who is your business for. And the next thing we need to know is who's our audience. Now, when I say know your audience, what I'm saying is, who's your buyer persona, your client avatar? Yes, we need to know our positioning. We need to know, where do we find our target market? Who's our audience? Will it, if we're writing storybooks, is it kids between the ages of 2 and 5? If we are selling cleaning products, is it for companies who have 50 employees or more? Who is our audience? So we need to know who they are, because that will determine where they hang out. All right, so you see the flow here. If you understand your business and you have clarity on it, it will help you define your audience, i.e. your target market, which will define where they hang out. Because if it is, let's say, storybooks that you've written for youngsters, well, you're not going to market directly to the children, are you? Not online necessarily. You're going to market to the parents. Where do the parents hang out? Will you have a better conversion if it is on Facebook as opposed to LinkedIn? If it's offline, so let's say in stores, are we going to do billboards, signposts? How is that going to look? Are we going to advertise in magazines? All right, if we're doing cleaning materials, will the person be on LinkedIn or will they be on Twitter? Will they be on Pinterest or on Instagram? Where do we find them? If we're offering consulting services, will we have better conversion if we do marketing on Instagram as opposed to Twitter? So every step that we take will help us define exactly which social media platform we need to focus on. Just a point on that, guys. Don't feel obliged to have an account on every social media platform because you feel there's a need for that, when your audience only hangs out on 1 or 2 or 3 select social media platforms. So we need to do content strategy around each platform but we need to make sure that it's relevant to that particular audience. As an example, my Twitter audience is very different to my Facebook audience, which is very different to my Instagram audience, which is very different to my LinkedIn audience. So you'll see that a lot of my stuff I don't share across all platforms because it's not relevant to all platforms. Okay, so you need to really understand where your audience hangs out. Can I emphasize that enough? You need to know on which social media platforms your audience hangs out on. Right, now we're going to create the strategy. So what is the strategy? Is the strategy to sign up 3 clients this month? If you want to do that, now remember, brand awareness, your brand has to appear in front of someone 8 times before they sit up and take note. All right, so is a month enough time for you to put out content to really to wave a flag and say, hi, here I am. I want you to sit up and take note. I want you to sign up for my service or I want you to buy my product. Would it be more realistic to say, I want to sign up 3 clients and let's say each of them are valued at 10,000 Rand, so 30,000 Rand within the next 2 months. That gives me enough time to put my content strategy together. That gives me enough time to understand that I need to share, let's say, 1 video a day on Instagram and a post. That I need to share 2 posts on Facebook and 1 motivational. That I need to write 5 blogs for the week and share it across all platforms. So do you see, we need to strategize exactly what that looks like, because how are we going to bring these prospective clients on board? Are we going to ask them to download an ebook? Are we going to ask them to go to a landing page and watch a video there? Are we going to convert them straight from the social media platform to book a consultation with us? Is there a buy button on our Facebook page for them to buy our product right now, which negates a lot of steps? So how does that strategy look? And you'll know because you'll understand your business well enough and your audience to understand their thought patterns and their behaviors, which will determine the kind of strategy that we put out. If we're going to focus on one social media platform, let's say Instagram, then we'll need to understand the algorithms on that particular platform. We're going to need to understand the behavior, the mindset of the person on Instagram. Do I need to post 4 times a day on Instagram with 1 story and 3 static posts? Should I do other 3 static posts, 1 video and 2 image-based posts? What hashtags do I use? Now that I've done posting on my Instagram account for a week, what is the next step? How do I get them to engage further with my brand? How do I get them from Instagram onto my website? Or how do I get them from Instagram into my inbox or into my diary to schedule a digital meeting? So you understand how meaty this gets. You understand how you really, really need to understand your market, your industry, your product, your business, your audience in order to build this in such a way that we can convert and get the kind of intake that we're looking for, the desired outcome. All right, now that we've gone and created the content, we need to share it. And we can use a scheduling tool for that, or we can do it live, native on every platform. But we need to share it on the correct platform. So let's say we are doing videos, static posts, and blogs. Are we only going to share the videos on Instagram, and are we only going to share the blogs on LinkedIn, and are we only going to share the static posts on Facebook? How does that mix look? How do we share that? Then once we have shared the content, we need to make sure that the content itself, so the video, the post, the blog, has the right kind of SEO, but also the post content. So you're going to write a short spiel above your video, above the static image to say, this is what we're chatting about today. Yeah, follow this link or watch this video. And these are the keywords that I'm using. These are the hashtags that I'm using. All right. Also understand that your hashtags can be relevant to different platforms. So you could use one set of hashtags for Facebook and a different set for Instagram. I know for myself again, that on LinkedIn, I follow very different hashtags to what I follow on Instagram, to what I follow on Facebook. And I'm sure I'm not alone on this. So if I'm doing that, then maybe your prospective client is doing the same. So you need to understand what hashtags to use that are relevant to each social media platform in order to get the engagement that you're looking for. All right, then we need to look at the data. So the data will tell us that we got so many shares on this particular post or so many views on the video that, at this particular time of day, let's say 9 o'clock at night on a Tuesday, that we got the most engagement, that out of the 100 people that viewed the video, 55 of them were women, and of the 55 women, 70% of them were between the ages of 45 and 52. All right. So we really need to break this data down, because this data gives us insight into the kind of marketing that we're going to do going forward, the kind of content that we're going to share going forward. It's going to break down the kind of branding that we're going to do, the colors that we're going to share, the keywords that we're going to use, the images that we're going to use for our posts. The data will give us a lot of insight. And I'm going to say to you, data, data, data. We're living in a data-driven world, so the data is of vital importance. We need to understand the engagement, the comments, the shares, the likes, the views, the time of day of the week, the gender, the geographic location, and so forth. That will determine what we are going to do next week with our marketing strategy. Do we need to now revise our entire plan, or can we just tweak as we go along? So it is important to do what I like to call it, myself and my business partner, we call it a postpartum. So once we have now done the sales meeting, or we've done the marketing strategy, or we've put out the content, is to go back and look at the data and see what worked, what didn't work, what we should change, or what we should leave as is because it is working. All right, so we need to go and revise our strategy going forward. What does that look like? Okay, there's a lot of you I know that do not have websites. Guys, it is so important that you have an online presence, not only a social media platform or 3 or 5 or whatever. It's really, really important that you have a website. The reason for that is your website acts as your online sales agent. This website makes sure that it speaks on your behalf when you're not there, that it does the selling for you in part, so that the lead will come in, the inquiry will come in, and that you can take it from there. All right, websites are very important. Here are 11 elements that your website should contain. One of them is the message, and the message is above the fold. So above the fold is when I go into Google and I type in your website address and the landing part, that's above the fold. So where your screen ends, what is the message there? Is it clear? Does it tell me exactly what you do? Do I know what your business is about? Can I, within 3 seconds, read what's going on there? Now, okay, this is the service or the product that I'm looking for. I want to continue reading on this website. Okay, so your above the fold is very important. Your message on the above the fold is very important. Your logo is important for branding purposes, and we want to make sure that with the logo, that your logo is there, and your website builder will know that when they put the logo on, that it's static, so that as you scroll through the website, your logo remains there. Remember, guys, it's subliminal. That logo is going to be imprinted in our brain, whether it's the colors or the font or the actual name of your logo, which is the name of your business, that it's subliminally implanted in our brains, so that going forward, when we're looking for, let's say, a supplier on cleaning products, that wait, there was someone that I visited, there was a website, it was green, it had a lemon lime zest look and feel to it. Oh, okay, I think I know what I'm going to go Google again, because I liked what they had to offer. All right, so we may not always remember the name of your business, but if there are elements of the website that we can remember, we can go search for it and find it. Your tagline. So again, in 5 words or 3 words, to quickly tell the visitor what it is that you do, what pain do you solve. An opt-in offer could be anything from opting into receiving newsletters, to receiving discount vouchers, to be notified when new service has been launched or new product has been launched. So, and it's a great way to get into someone's inbox is for them to opt in to sign up for a newsletter or something, because that's how you build your mailing list. It's one of the ways. Social icons are very important. So you want to make sure that your icon for your Facebook page, your Instagram page, your LinkedIn page is at the top of your website, at the bottom of your website. So wherever I'm on your website, if I want to go to your social media pages, that I can just click on the icon and it's easy for me to get there. I cannot tell you how frustrating it is when I'm on a website and I click the social icon and it takes me nowhere. This page is not found. Oops. You don't want that to happen. All right, so you need to make sure that your linking works with your social media icons. You need to optimize images on your website. It is so important that if a person is on Google and they're searching images, that you have used the right meta tags and keywords on your image, that through the image your website is found, or your blog is found, or your team page, or whatever. So it's so important to optimize images on your website. You can also include hashtags on your images. Okay, then we want to make sure that it is very easy to navigate on your website, that the menu is self-explanatory, that I don't have to struggle and really now understand and rack my brain. I need a degree to understand what's going on your website. Where do I find the pricing? Where do I find further details about the team? How do I get hold of you? So make sure that the menu is easy to navigate. Make sure that the website is easy to navigate, that there's flow, that you understand the behavior of the visitor. The contact form is very important. So on the contact page, make sure there's a contact form. But I would also recommend, and write this down, is that you have a contact form at the bottom of every page. You want to make the 0 to 1 as small as possible, i.e. from being a visitor to a paying client, there are steps to follow. Reduce those steps. So if you're going to make it easy for me to get hold of you, or I complete a form and you phone me, great. But make sure that the contact form is easy to find and that it's everywhere. Then when we speak of fonts, we are talking things here, guys, of making sure that there's uniformity on the website, that not only is it legible, that it's a trust factor with the fonts being the same and consistent throughout your website. It's subliminal trust factors that you're giving to the visitor. Content is king. I'm going to take a moment. Write it down. Content is king. Content is the wording on your website. It's the blogs. It's videos. It's all content. And it's so important that we make sure that we share original content, that the content is relevant to the business, to the keywords that we're using, to the hashtags that we're using on the back end of the website, that it all ties in. So make sure that you always bring value. Whatever content you're sharing on your website, that it's insightful, that it's educational, that's informative, and that it really it holds the visitor's hand to take them down the path that we want to take them. All right. So we want to make sure that they spend time on the website by reading, and therefore, if you are sharing valuable, insightful content on your website, you're going to keep the visitor longer on your website. We also want to make sure that the website's mobile responsive. A large portion of people spend a lot of time on their mobile phones. That little device in the hand, man, you can glue it to some people's hands because they will not let go of it. So that ultimately means that whatever they're doing, whatever kind of research they're doing, if they are hunting down a supplier, if they're looking for someone to help them in the business to outsource certain things, if they're looking for a great restaurant, whatever it is, it's on that mobile phone. So you want to make sure that your website is mobile responsive, i.e. that it fits on the mobile screen. Okay, so you don't have to scroll back and forth and up and down to try and see what is the page trying to tell me. Okay, I quickly want to go back to hashtags. Hashtags are so important. Hashtag sets are very important. You want to do A/B testing with your hashtags. Hashtags you can use on your website, you can use on your blogs, you use on your social media posts. Hashtags are very important because it helps you to be found. It's one of the important ways for SEO for you to be found. So let's say I'm on LinkedIn and I have subscribed to the hashtag sales. That means I want to be alerted every time someone uses the hashtag sales in their post. Okay, if I go to Google and I type in hashtag sales, I want to be shown relevant content that would help me understand and appreciate and inform and educate me when it comes to hashtag sales. Okay, if it's a new hashtag, something that I don't know, again, I want the algorithms to bring up content for me that will help me understand better what the hashtag is about. Hashtags are so important. Hashtags are very relevant to your industry. They're very relevant to your market. They're relevant to the service that you provide. So if you have several services that you provide under one umbrella, every service is going to have their own hashtag set. When we talk about A/B testing, what I mean there is have 4 or 5 different sets of hashtags. And let's say there's 7 to 10 in each set, that you share a social media post and that you use hashtag set 1 and see the kind of engagement that you receive. And then tomorrow you use hashtag set 2, etc., etc. And then you go back and look at the data and help determine through the data which hashtags were the most effective and which created the most engagement. Okay, so hashtags are very important to your marketing strategy. All right, so those were the 11 elements that I want to see on your website. Again, websites are very important. It's your online sales agent. It's your online presence. If someone overseas is going to look for, let's say, a graphic designer, they want to go and see your portfolio. They want to see the kind of work that you've done for others. If I'm a client who is selling cleaning agents, and cleaning agents, I mean cleaning products, and I need a website, I'm going to go and find web dev people who understand my industry. So I want you to highlight on your website that you specialize in my particular industry. I'm going to look at your website to see, can you build me a website? All right, so your website is very important. If you don't have one currently, I would recommend that you get one. I would also recommend that you rather have what I want to call a standalone website. So don't use something, a free thing like Wix or something, because what you're doing is you're driving traffic to their domain. You want to drive traffic to your domain. So make sure that your domain name that you book is your business name. If that's not available, then I would say book something that's keyword relevant to your industry, or book both. And make sure that you have an online presence. If you need help building a website, get the help that you need, but make sure that besides social media platforms that you are found online, that people can go do their research about you and what you offer. Again, trust factors. It's subliminal trust factors for prospective clients to reach out to you and say, I like what you do. Your website has told me everything that I need to know. I'm ready to talk business. Alrighty, blogging. So I started my blogging career in 2013, and I've come a long way from 2013 when it comes to blogs. So I want to share a couple of my top tips when it comes to blogging. Blogging is still relevant. It's still important. We're going to go through videos now, but blogging is still, I think, one of the top 5 ways to convert visitors to prospective clients. That stat I got from Neil Patel from one of his blogs, where he went and did the research. So blogging is one of the top 5 ways to still convert visitors into paying clients. And yeah, we go again, understanding your persona. Yes, we are hitting that point again. Guys, please, I want you to write this down. You absolutely need to know who's your buyer persona, your client avatar, your target market, your audience, whatever you want to call it. You need to know who that person is, because that person, that Susie, that Trevor is who you're going to be writing for every time you write a blog. Okay, so when you're writing blogs, it needs to be to your prospective client. Guys, please do not write blogs for yourselves or for other people in your industry. So if you run a marketing agency, do not write blogs for other marketing agencies unless they are your target market, unless they are your paying clients. Don't do that. You need to write blogs for your prospective clients and for your current clients. To write blogs, you can go research relevant topics or latest trends. So if you hit writer's block, it's fine. You can go and do a bit of research in your industry, see what is trending at the moment, and go write about that. You can write about how-tos, easy steps to follow. You could even do an interview and write that as a blog, but make sure, again, that you're writing for prospective clients. Your blog needs to have an engaging header. I'm going to go through tools now, but the cool tool that I love to use is CoSchedule Headline Analyzer. You'll see it now. I'll go through it in a bit more detail. And this will help you understand whether your heading is working or not. So you want to make sure that the heading you've given your blog is engaging, that it converts, i.e., I've read the topic now, I understand what the blog is about. Yes, I want to read further. I'm going to click on the heading so the blog is opened up so that I can read further. Okay, so your heading is vitally important because that heading will determine whether someone will read the blog or not. We also need to make use of subheadings. So I like to use the analogy of left brain, right brain. Your left brain people are a lot more data driven, they're analytical, they will read the blog from top to bottom. Your right brain people are the more creatives. They don't necessarily want to read all 1,000 words of your blog, but they're going to scan through all the subheadings and they'll read portions of the blog. So it's very important when you write your blog that you write for both left-brained and right-brained audience, so that those who are right-brained, when they scan through the blog, they still get the right elements from it and they will still take the right call to actions, and the left-brained people will read through the entire blog and also take the right call to action. I want your blogs to be more than 500 words. In fact, it's not me that wants your blogs to be more than 500 words, it's Google. So Google will rank you according to the length of your blog. It's one of the ways of ranking content is length. So you want to make sure that your blogs are always more than 500 words. I would say 500 words is the absolute minimum because you want your content to be found on the internet. And in order to do that, you need to have the right length of words, but you also need to use the right keywords and hashtags in your blogs. You get things called cornerstone blogs. So these are evergreen pieces. They're 1,500 to 3,000 words. But the content in these blogs are evergreen, meaning that they will always be relevant, that people can always refer back to it. So the other day I was researching a particular topic, and in the Google search, something came up from 2012. And that's weird. We're in 2019 already. It's 7 years down the line. But somehow that blog has, the person who wrote it made sure that it's an evergreen piece and that it keeps on coming up in search when particular keywords are inserted into Google. You want to use optimized images and optimize your content. So the same thing on blogs as in your website. You want to make sure that you use the right keywords in your blog. So if you're writing about, let's say you're offering virtual assistant services, that you use, let's say for instance, keyword virtual assistant throughout the blog, maybe even in the blog title, but you don't want to do what they call keyword stuffing. So you don't want to spam your blog with keywords because then you are going to be penalized by Google for doing that. So it's got to be authentic content, but it's got to be relevant, it's got to be readable, and there's a fine line, guys, between using the right number of keywords, but also making sure that the blog's informative and educational. Again, with the images on the blog, you want to optimize it. So one of the ways to optimize it is to make sure that if you're using a WordPress site for your blogs, that the size of the image is correct. So most times 1200 by 1200 pixels could work. If it's on Instagram, that you optimize your image for Instagram, because obviously the feed looks different to what your feed would look like on Facebook, which would look different to what you have on Twitter. Another way to optimize your image is to make sure that you have the right meta tags, i.e. keywords and hashtags on that image. So again, if someone's going to search only images on Google, that because you've used the right keywords on the image, that your image comes up, which will then take the person through to the blog and then to your website. Okay, let's talk about original content. So we want to make sure that when we write blogs that we use original content. Now it's fine to refer to sources and to state those sources. So if you are bringing up statistics, that you refer back to them. For example, like Neil Patel, where he has done the data and he's done the research that one of the top 5 ways of converting an audience is through blogging. that they make a reference point to Neil Patel and that particular blog. Guys, be very careful of plagiarism, and I will show you a tool now on how to avoid that. But we want to make sure that we write authentic pieces that speaks to our audience, that it's original content, and that every blog that we write is original. So I would recommend that if you have run out of ideas or experiences to blog about, go do your research, but then still use your own words to write about that particular topic. Then the frequency of blogging, I would say in order to get the right kind of traction, to start off with 3 times a week. I know that's a lot, but if you have the right kind of content strategy plan in place, so you have your content plan, you have your content calendar for the month, then you'll know. Mondays at 12 o'clock, between 12 and 1, I sit down and I write my blog. I know for me, it takes me 40 minutes to write an original piece of 500 words. It takes me another 20 minutes to source my image, to optimize my blog, to publish it, and to share it on all social media platforms. So I know if I set aside an hour for that particular day, I will get all of that done. So set aside time 3 times a week to write your blog, and there's a tool called Answer the Public, so you can go there and find out topics if you're stuck. In fact, go and Google blogging ideas, and you'll see that people will come up with a lot of ideas for you, or there are apps where you can go in and type in a keyword or a hashtag, and it will come up with topics for you that you can write about. Again, how-tos, easy to follows, interviews, personal experiences, whatever the case is, these are all ideas on what to blog about. Again, I would do 3 times a week to start off with, and if you can stick to that, fantastic, do that. You can do blogs on your website, and you can write LinkedIn publications, which also gain great traction and are very converting. But the cool thing about LinkedIn blogs is that it helps establish authority, it helps establish trust, it can be very educational, and it's all on a business platform where most business people hang out. Then you want to share your blogs on social media. So you'll know that on Tuesdays, 10 o'clock, it's a great time to share your blog on Twitter. And on Wednesdays at 10 o'clock in the morning, it's a good time to share it on Facebook. And Thursdays at 4 o'clock, LinkedIn works. As an example, you'll know again on your industry, your market, the kind of business that you have, when the best times are. Through the years of blogging, I've discovered when I get the most engagement. For example, I have discovered on a Sunday night, LinkedIn publications get great traction because most people are starting to get ready for the week. They're starting to prepare, get their mindset back into the business space. And so they're reading things on LinkedIn, and so then your blog is read. Okay, so you'll discover those things as you go along. It's very important to respond to comments. So especially if people have, well, you're going to get positive and negative comments, and it's important to respond to both, but it's very important to respond to the positive comments and to keep that engagement going. You will also be rewarded by the algorithms for commenting and responding to those comments. When I speak of internal editorial strategy, what I mean is, what are you and your team doing to make sure that 1, blogs are written, and 2, that they get out? I know of a couple of agencies where they, for instance, the marketing director will come up with ideas, and I think there's 5 people on the team. So she will come up with blogging ideas, and she will ask 3 of those team members. So 4 of the 5 are writing, and each of them get to write once a week. They're given the topic because they're not necessarily creative that way, and they will go and write their blog, and she will make sure then it's published and shared on social media. So what does your internal editorial strategy look like? Are you and your team writing? Are certain team members writing? Is your entire team writing? Are only you writing? Guys, if you go look at HubSpot, you'll see that they get the entire team to write. So everyone gets a turn to share insights and thoughts on the blog. And so it's something for you to look at. If you're a solopreneur, well, then you are the person writing. But then I would suggest that you block time off in your diary so that you know that you have set times, that you get your mind space right to get into the writing mode so that you write consistently. And then again, data, data, data. It's so important to go and analyze the key metrics. So again, you'll understand that if you share your post, let's say on a Tuesday night on Twitter, that you get this kind of engagement. But if you use hashtag set one, the engagement's not so great, but you get better engagement with hashtag set two. You'll also know that on your Facebook page you have more women engaging, whereas on LinkedIn you might have more men engaging. So then you also know that certain blogs you might rather share on Facebook and other blogs you'd rather share on LinkedIn. Okay, so that's why the data is so important, because it will help define what you write, who you write it for, where you share it, and the kind of hashtags that you use when you share it. All right, video. Now, videos has become the highest converting form of content in the last year, and it's only going to ramp up for the next year, 2-3 years. So videos are very important. They're a vital part of our marketing strategy. And if you're not comfortable being in front of the camera, well, then get someone who's gregarious and outgoing on the team to do it for you. But guys, we need to do videos. It's very important. Again, we need to know our target market, i.e. we need to know our buyer persona, our client avatar. Who are the videos for? Who are we speaking to when we're writing the content for the video? What do we want them to do? What's the next step? What's the call to action? So for videos, we need to have a content strategy. Are we going to do one Facebook video a day? Are we going to do 2 LinkedIn videos a week? Are we going to do 4 videos on Instagram a day? So what does that strategy look like? Who are we speaking to? What are we going to cover? Are we going to speak randomly? Are we going to, just off the cuff, chat about certain topics? Are we going to engage our audience and ask them to ask us questions or to send us topics and speak about that? Are we going to have almost like a vlog? So it's a blog that has been done in a video format. What does that strategy look like? Always tell a story. And by that, really what we're saying is you got to be engaging. It's you want to capture that person's imagination. You got to paint them a picture. You want to take them on a journey. So you got to hold their hand. You got to leave the breadcrumbs. What do you want them to do next? And for a lot of people, we want to engage them in such a visual way that when they see or hear of certain things, certain terms, or they see different colors, that immediately they think of you and your brand. What is the desired outcome? So what do we want to achieve with the video? Do we want the person to book a consultation with us? Do we want them to watch another video? Do we want them to set up a sales meeting? What do we want them to do? So what do we want to achieve with this video? Do we only want to create brand awareness? Do we want to get engagement? Do we want to get 1,000 views? And that's fine. We're happy with that. So what does that desired outcome look like? In a video, and it's the same thing with first impressions last. So in first impressions, it's I think about 8 seconds. In a video, you've got 10 seconds to get to the point. Because, well, guys, we live in a society where we're very short with our attention spans. And because there's so much going on that if you don't capture my attention right now, I'm going to move on to something else. So within the first 10 seconds of the video, what do you want to say to me? What is the key point before you get on to anything else? Because if I know that you are going to speak of something that I have of interest in or that I want to learn about, I'm going to keep on watching. But if you've lost me in the first 10 seconds, well, then that's it. That's goodbye. All right, so you have 10 seconds to get to the point in your video. And then always have a call to action. So you're going to get to the point in your first 10 seconds. You're going to do an intro. And at the end of the video, you're going to have a call to action. You're going to tell the viewer what they must do next. Are they going to click on the link? Must they pick up the phone? What do you want them to do? What do you want them to think? All right, we need to keep our videos short in certain instances. So we need to also understand that, and you'll see where do I have it? I don't see the point here, but we want to make sure that the video is relevant to the platform. So we want to make sure that, for instance, if we are doing live online courses like this one on, let's say, Facebook, that we engage the audience for a 40-minute period. Or if we're going to do an educational, informative 45-second video, are we sharing that on Instagram? So yes, we need to keep our videos short, but again, in context. So there might be times that the video needs to be longer, that we want to have a 10, 12, or 15-minute video that will keep the person watching. Whether it's on our website, which would be great because then we have that attention span on our website or on our YouTube channel. We need to optimize the video description and have appropriate video title. So those two kind of work hand in hand. So the first thing to understand there is, let's say for instance you've done a video and you are going to upload it to your YouTube channel, that within the first 4 words of your title that you have the right keywords in place. You'll be rewarded for it and your content will be found easier. So we need to make sure those keywords appear in the first 4 or 5 words of the title, but we also need to make sure that we optimize the description of the video. So for example, I'm going to upload this video, this online course, to my YouTube channel, and it's going to be Marketing 101. Why? Because Marketing 101 is a very rich keyword term. So if I'm a novice person wanting to understand how to do my marketing strategy, what am I going to type into YouTube? Marketing 101. So I want to make sure that whoever's typing that in finds my video. All right. Then I'm going to make sure that I use the right description to identify my video, that I'm going to cover the right topics. In this video, we're going to talk about marketing strategy, like we have done. Great marketing tips and websites and apps. All right, so do you see the importance of making sure that we use the right description and the right video title when we upload our videos? The platform parameters that we speak of is on Instagram, for instance, your stories. I think it's a 30-second window that you have. So you can have 30-second windows after each other, but you have 30 seconds to do your video. If you're going to upload an actual video, it's 60 seconds. On Facebook, it's different. So every platform have their parameters on the length of the video that you can upload. And so we want to make sure that we meet those parameters. Okay. Then we have to make sure that all times we're professional. And I think this goes without saying. So guys, write it down. I want you to be professional at all times in your dealings, whether it's in email, whether it's commenting on other comments on your blog, whether it's in your video, whatever it is, when you're presenting yourself in person in a sales meeting or in a digital meeting, if you're going to a networking event, that you always be professional. Okay. That's your brand. It's your persona. So we need to make sure that your brand speaks to your audience. In the comment section, I want you to share with the rest of us what video editing tools you're using. So if you are doing videos for yourself or for clients, what tools are you currently using? I know there's things like Caden and Filmora. They're quite easy to use. You can insert subtitles. You can cut parts from the video. You can do overlays. You can insert intro part and an outro part. So I'd love to hear in the comment section what video editing tools you're currently using. There's a lot out there, guys. There's paid ones and there's non-paid ones. But I think at the end of the day, you'll find the one that works best for you, because you'll see which one works easiest for you in your business. But it is important to have video editing tools. And then we're going to share our video. So we're going to again look at which platforms we're going to share which videos on. And we might decide to do the longer length ones on Facebook and only 30-second ones on Instagram. But again, 30 seconds, guys, it's a long time, but it's a short time. So what do you cover in 30 seconds? What point do you get across in 30 seconds? And what call to action do you want the viewer to take once the 30 seconds have passed? This all forms part of your marketing strategy. All right, I'm going to share a couple of more marketing tips with you. So I want you to get comfortable with the idea of outsourcing and using scheduling tools, things like Hootsuite, Social Pilot. More ways to get marketing and brand awareness for your business is to comment in groups and forums, for instance, in Facebook and LinkedIn. You can do offline marketing. This will be things like billboards and signposts, newspapers, magazines. And then we're going to look at past data to help define what this marketing strategy looks like. A couple of tools, apps, and websites that I want to share with you. I always speak of Gary Vee, so you definitely should become a Gary Vee follower. He is a marketing guru. So is Neil Patel. Neil Patel, what I love about him is he shares a lot of insight and data with everyone. So if you're looking for great reference points and collateral for arguments, for example, Neil Patel is the guy to go to. HubSpot, very informative on the marketing side and the sales side. CoSchedule is that headline analyzer for your blogs. MailChimp for email marketing. Alexa ranking. This is cool to check the ranking of, let's say for instance, you've engaged services of a web dev company to see how is their website ranking. Because if they have ranking on their website, then they know what they're doing, then definitely engage your services to build your website. SumoMe is an app that will help understand what content is trending right now and top of mind. SEMrush it's a wonderful SEO tool. Guys, this will help understand ranking, data, insight, analytics. So it is something that if you're really serious about your marketing is for you to look into. Is this great SEO tool? Grammarly, well, that goes without saying to understand whether you are using the right grammar in your blogs and the content on your website and emails and in your marketing collateral. Canva is an awesome tool if you don't have access to CorelDRAW or Adobe, is to design your logos and your image for your social media posts and your blog posts in Canva. Unsplash is a royalty-free stock image app, and there's a lot of these out there. I just chose a few. Guys, if you go into each one, you're going to find 100 options. So you need to find one that works for you the best. The Nine Project is to download icons. So for example, on Instagram, on your page, you can have different icons for different things. So for your book, for live events, for your private functions, whatever the case is, that you have icons that will depict each criteria. Bitly, so when you're sharing, let's say, a blog post or your website link in a social media post, that you go to Bitly, that will shorten it for you, especially in Twitter where your characters are less than other social media platforms. Social Pilot, Hootsuite Buffer, it's a scheduling tool. Copyscape, this is to make sure that your blog isn't plagiarized, so that you haven't gone and stepped on someone's toes. So run your blog through Copyscape to make sure they're in the clear before you publish it. Quora and Medium is great apps, it's websites where people share insights. There's a lot of writing takes place for you to go and do research to stay on top of trends. Quora, you can go ask questions. It's another great platform to follow. There are so many. There's a plethora of apps, tools, websites that will help you with your marketing strategy. At the end of the day, you need to know, one, who is your buyer persona? So who are you creating the content for? Two is to have a plan. What do you want to achieve in the next 3 months, and reverse engineer it in order to achieve that? And then 3 is to make sure that you keep the engagement going. So if you have people commenting and sharing, that you keep that engagement going to eventually filter them down in your funnel from marketing into sales. So you want to make sure that the visitor, the viewer, becomes a lead and eventually becomes a client, because ultimately that's what your marketing is for, isn't it? Guys, it's been a jam-packed session. Obviously, I can talk hours about marketing, so I'm going to hop over to the comment section now. I will see you there. Please, any other questions that you have, pop them for me in the comment section. Thank you for your time. I appreciate it. And please make notes, lots of notes on anything marketing related that you want to go and research or ask me about. Do it. If you watch this video again, pause it, make your notes, make sure that you have your plan in place, your strategy in place, your mindset in place to make sure that your marketing converts. Until next week, cheerio.